You've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, but first let me apologize for the fact that I actually told you that Ben White would be the first Arsenal signing. Well, I don't think so, that's the possibility. I'm not saying that Ben White won't be signing for Arsenal, I'm saying he won't be the first Arsenal signing this window because some latest and fresh news are here and it looks like something is imminent, and of course we're going to talk about that. So in this episode we're going to talk about first Arsenal signing. We're also going to talk about some more of Arsenal news which involves the new Arsenal woman head coach appointed. We're going to talk about him, Arsenal's transfer targets again revisited, and of course where are they standing in terms of Nuno Tavares, the understudy to Kieran Tierney. So with this, let's just begin the episode. If you seek daily Arsenal content, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon, and of course stay tuned for more news. So the first news that we have for you guys is of course about Nuno Tavares. So Conrad Harrison mentions in his tweet, he says Arsenal have agreed personal terms with Nuno Tavares. I don't think so there was any of a big problem, but here's another important source. Ojogos say that Arsenal's interest in Nuno Tavares is concrete and they will make an offer for him soon. And now let's call the two bigwigs of transfer news speaking about it. So Fabrizio Romano tweets out, Arsenal want Nuno Tavares as announced yesterday. Arsenal set to offer around 7 to or 8 million euros to sign him from Benfica. Price tag around 15 million euros, but add-ons will help to agree on per payment structure. Work in progress on personal terms too. Contract until June 2026. So towards the end of June 2026 will be his 5-year contract that he's going to sign with Arsenal. So David Ornstein also reacted to it. He said, as others have reported, Arsenal are pursuing a deal for Benfica left-back Nuno Tavares. Arsenal focus has been a Tierney backup aged roughly 20 or 22 years and 21 years of age. Tavares would fit the bill. Could be done for around 10 million euros or less. With that's how exactly it was confirmed. Another concrete source, Charles Watts, says that Arsenal are interested in Benfica left-back Nuno Tavares and have open talks over the 21-year-old defender. So do we talk more about him? Well, do we know him? Nuno Tavares, what do we know about him? Well, to be fair, to be real, nothing much. But I think there's someone who tweeted about him. We're going to find him out. Yeah, here it is. So he says, his name is Harry Dave AFC. So he actually spoke to Amari Gonçalves. So he says that someone who watches Nuno Tavares closely, so he informed him about Nuno Tavares. These are the characteristics of Nuno Tavares. He says fast, physically he's a machine. Tactically he has to evolve a lot about his defensive position. Technically his potential is amazing. So Hari believes that he's a very strong profile guy, but he would be an understudy, so he would learn from Kieran Tierney. But whatever I've seen, his crosses, he's got a good eye of actually providing some good amount of crosses, is what I can tell you. Only, So that's that about Nuno Tavares. We've agreed personal terms with him according to Conrad Harrison, but more importantly, other media outlets are clearly saying that yes, we are after him. Let's see where we land up after that. So, of course, I spoke about an Inter Milan striker, Martin Satriano, in January, if you remember. So, Arsenal, Tottenham, West Ham and Everton are all keen on him, who has performed impressively at Primavera 1 level, and the Italian giants could be forced to sell the striker due to their financial problems, according to Mail Sport. Well, Arsenal, West Ham and Everton are all in the market for striking reinforcements. They are actively keeping tabs on Satriano amid Inter's financial plight. The forward scored 14 goals and provided 8 assists in 25 games to be voted the best forward in Primavera for the 2020-2021 season. So the youngster is really, he's got something special, yeah. And talking about Aaron Ramsdale, according to Athletic.uk, Arsenal are in talks about a possible deal for Sheffield United's Aaron Ramsdale. There has now been initial contact between the clubs. The fee they are prepared to pay indicates they regard him as someone who can make a significant contribution to the club. So, yeah. So moving on, according to Sami Mokbel, he says that the Gunners board are said to be disappointed at the way the club's season has developed during Arteta's first full campaign in charge and want to see significant improvements from the start of next season. And that is the whole reason why this is actually a very old news that I actually mentioned, but okay. Moving on. So let's talk about Eddie Nketiah. So Athletic report Arsenal had offered Eddie Nketiah a new contract to protect his value. That has not been accepted, so a decision on his future now becomes more urgent. They may adopt a similar strategy with Reiss Nelson, offering him a new contract before sending him on loan. Well, Reiss wanted to prove himself. That's why I think he did not go on a loan in January. He should have actually, but he did not. A host of clubs want him on loan. He should go on loan, but I'm pretty much sure I think he needs to develop and he needs to come up with not how at Hoffenheim he was a blast of a super sub for them, getting goals, getting those important aspects, and then disappearing towards the next half of the season. So that's not what I want from Reiss Nelson to do. I mean, he's got to perform like Joe Willock. If he's going to get 6 months, whatever time he's going to get, he needs to have an impact throughout the season. He's got to come up big for the clubs to have an impact at a club like Arsenal for himself. Moving on, so Aston Villa are pushing to sign Emile Smith-Rowe regardless of the decision Jack Grealish makes on his future, sources have told CBS Sports, because they're actually coming up with a bid of £30 million and Arsenal are not even budging to sell him. They're giving him a new contract, and Aston Villa, well, they really are serious about Emile Smith-Rowe. Nobody gives a damn. Not a single Arsenal fan gives a damn about what Aston Villa want right now. So instead, Arsenal are working to agree new terms with Smith-Rowe for his contract. No agreement has been reached, nor is one imminent, though the Gunners are understood to be confident that he will eventually put pen to paper on fresh terms. I mean, why would he not? Anyways, well, according to Journal de Noticias, they say that Nuno Tavares is very close to joining Arsenal. The player has already agreed a 5-year contract with the London club. Well, as I mentioned it, exclusive from David Ornstein, Aston Villa makes second bid to sign Emile Smith-Rowe from Arsenal. After 25 million bid offer rejected, 30 million pound proposal also rebuffed. Adamant 20-year-old midfielder not for sale, but new contract not agreed. Aston Villa don't seem to be going away. That's the whole problem. Well, let's welcome the new Arsenal women's head coach, Jonas Idawal. Well, Jonas joins Arsenal from Swedish side Rosengard after helping the Malmo-based club reach the quarterfinals of last season's Women's Champions League. The 38-year-old took his first steps into management as a 23-year-old assistant coach at men's side Lunds BK before taking the head coach role 3.5 years later and guiding them to the 2009 second division title. A switch to women's football followed when he joined Rosengard, first as an assistant and then as a head coach, achieving back-to-back the Allsvenskan titles in 2013 and 2014. The Swede then spent a brief spell at Henrik Larsson's assistant at Helsingborgs before returning to Rosengard and leading them to the 2018 Swedish Cup and their first league title in 4 years in 2019. Well, he feels that he's honoured to come to Arsenal. We are honoured to have him, but someone had to replace here. But here's the funny part, I mean, Arsenal women's head coach has been appointed before Tottenham. Moving on, so Declan Rice was asked which England player has impressed him the most. He says, I'm going to say Saka. I knew he had that type of performance in him. In training, you can play him left wing back, you can play him as a number 10 and as a right winger, and he'll give you the same effort and the same intensity. His left foot is so sweet. He holds people off, and I have got really close to him during this trip. He's just the nicest kid ever, and everyone actually loves him. He's a top boy. And talking about the first Arsenal signing, it's coming from Anderlecht, Albert Sambi Lokonga. According to HLN, they believe that, as I already mentioned, that Anderlecht has already, he won't be joining their pre-season. But here's the first exclusive from Sebastian Pedersen. He says, first exclusive, I have received 100% confirmation from a person close to Sambi Lokonga. He is in fact joining Arsenal, and I was told this last Tuesday, so have been confirmed for a while now. Although I didn't see his message until now. Welcome to Arsenal, Lokonga. So Sebastian Pedersen believes that a player close to him, a person close to Lokonga confirms that his transfer to Arsenal will be completed soon. So Sambi Lokonga will be the first Arsenal signing and not Ben White. I have to apologize because I already mentioned it, but he might be the first signing, and maybe the second could be Nuno Tavares. So Benfica left back will complete his move to Arsenal. So yes, crazy stuff and crazy things as we believe in. So with this, I'd like to end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you see daily Arsenal content, best place to be, consider subscribing. And before ending this episode, this is what Glenn Hoddle has to say about England. He says, I think it would be a failure if we don't beat Germany. We're playing at Wembley. We can't ask for much more. Well, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, cheers and have a good night and enjoy the Euros. Cheers.